Hi, in this video I'm going to do a short demonstration of how to use some of the features that I sort of talked about a little bit in the introductory video and apply it to a case of something that might be actually quite useful. So in terms of how to format a CV. So what I've got here is some text for a CV and it's relatively unformatted. Okay, so it's just in the normal font that it started off with, and I haven't done any formatting here. But that's just to save time. I'm going to show you how you can use some of the tools to make this look sort of appealing as a CV and look professional. So to start with, the usual convention for a CV is to have your name and your contact details at the top of the CV and align to the center. So to align something to the center, you have to select the text that you want. So that's a left click in front of the text that you want, left click here, and then drag along up to the top so that everything's blue. That means you've selected your text. And then you move it to here where it says center align, and you give that a left click. And that will move the text into the middle. Next thing I'm going to do is, because some CVs, people will only access it online, they won't print it out, is to actually make this link for the email available for them. So to do this, you select the text again where your email is, and you can go up and click on this insert link button. So now you can see it's got this blue underlined text. This means that if someone then comes along and they click on that, that will take them to your email. Just make things a bit easier for them. So moving on next is to, for formatting, is to make some of the titles bold. So here for personal profile, select the text, and the bold is up here with all the other formatting tools, all the main formatting tools. Click that for bold. You can do that for these. For work experience. You can see already it's starting to look a little bit more together as a document. Okay. The next thing to consider is bullet points. So when you have a list of different skills and attributes or something like that, it's good to have these in a bullet pointed list just so it's easier for them to stand out and say, I can see where your skills are. So if you select the text that you want to turn into a bullet pointed list, and then head over to the right hand side of the screen, you can see you can see these three dots. That's for a bullet point list. So if we click on that, it turns it straight into a bullet pointed list. I'm just going to put a space there in between just to make it clearer as well. And I might put a space underneath each title actually. I've noticed that this one needs one here, one here, one here. Okay, so it's all fit. It's a good thing normally to try and fit CVs onto one page if you've not got too much text, but 2 pages is okay as well if you've got plenty of text. So here I'm going to try and fit this a little bit more onto one page, see if I can do it. You don't normally want to go any lower than font size 10, but font size 10 is normally perfectly reasonable, but 12 is ideal. So I'm going to change this to font size 10 to see if we can fit everything on one page. So as you can see, there's a little bit left at the bottom. So if you still want to try and fit everything onto one page, one thing you can do is change the layout. So you can see there's some white space at the top here, maybe a little bit too much, and there's some white space at the sides. These are called the margins. To change the margins, you go over to File, then you go down here to Page Setup. You can see it's quite near the bottom. Click on that, and this is where you can change the margin. So it's measured in inches, but 1 inch for a margin is quite large. So I'm going to change these to 0.5 for each of these margins, the top, the bottom, and both sides. This will just give us a bit more space. Okay. Now you can see that margin size is now smaller on the side and at the top as well. Hopefully everything fits onto one, and there you go, you can see it all fits into one space. I'm just going to do some more making some extra things bold here. Make that your name nice and bold, maybe a little bit bigger as well. And finally, these little bits here can be made bold as well. They're sort of like subheadings. It's just basically thinking about what needs to be made bold and what doesn't can make a real big difference into how your CV looks. And there you go. So just some basic formatting tips there. Making sure the titles are bold, making sure that everything fits nicely on the page. Choose your font size carefully. Also have a think about which font you want to use. Arial is a good one, but there are some fonts that really don't look very professional, such as this, for instance, as Courier, or if Impact. Okay, you'd never want to send a CV using that type of font. So just stick with the main ones that people use. Arial is a good one, as is Calibri. And there you go. So if you have some text, try it yourself. Try and change the formatting of your CV using these basic tips.